What goes on, guys? We're back here again to take over the universe. And today, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse DC Classics Darkseid. Man, this is awesome. Look at that artwork. Love it. I will say right off the bat, I am not a medallion cape guy. This is definitely based off of the Superpowers one, which is not something that I'm into. I'm sure we'll get a redo, but am I impatient? Yes. And other than that, this thing's perfect. So I'm really hoping that I can just kind of take off the medallion, take off the cape. I don't really know. We'll have to see. I saw somebody do an incredible custom where they did that. So we'll have to wait and see. But without further ado, I gave you the barcode. Let's go ahead and annihilate the universe together by taking a look at this figure. So he took a break from his search for the anti-life equation to come and take a chat with us. And man, this thing's awesome. Now, right off the bat, I'm impatient as shit, and I'm like looking at this. I'm like, all right, how can I get this cape and this gem off? So I'm like touching it. And I take off the head, and I realize the cape is just attached to the gem. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I just pull, and it came right off. So pop the head off, right? This cape is really nice for what it is, but I'm going to leave it off because it is bendy all the way around, which is very, very nice. So if you need a big blue cape for something... no, Dr. Fate has a yellow cape. I was like, this is a good Dr. Fate cape. But if you need a big blue cape, it's just nice to put in the customs bin, right? And this, I can easily just Dremel that down. I'm probably going to do that by the end of the video, and I'll show you guys. But I am very, very happy about that. So for the rest of the review, I'm just going to... I know, it's a little unconventional, but I'm just going to do my review without it because screw the cape. I don't want the cape. Maybe you like the cape, and that's totally cool, but I do not. So this... Let's ignore the little bit of silver left on the chest. All right? This right here is my ideal version of Darkseid. I know people wanted the skirt, but I'm fine either way. It doesn't. I didn't even really notice it until somebody said something. But if I can get this cleaned up, which I definitely think I can with my Dremel, I got me a good Darkseid on my hands here. So taking a look at this head sculpt. How do we want to do this? I will say he falls apart pretty easy, so I think the Build-A-Figure theory is definitely ensue. But that head sculpt is nuts. That is one of the best head sculpts I think I've ever seen McFarlane do. The grimace, the paint. Oh, man, it looks so good. For Darkseid, baby. For Darkseid. I know the arms are reuse of Mongol, and people were whining about it. It's too veiny. I like it. It does not bother me at all. I like the hands. The gloves look good. I think there's a little bit of like darker blue overspray in this blue, and I can't tell, but in certain lighting, it's almost like it's shaded. Maybe even like a dry brush across the chest. I can't tell, but whatever it is, it looks great. It's a nice matte finish. The legs look fantastic. I'll say I don't like that these don't match in texture, but it really, like, it doesn't bother me. Like, when I saw that, was it Mongol? I guess it was Mongol. I don't remember. Yeah, Mongol. I was like thinking, I'm like, that's a good Darkseid reuse. And I think somebody has, I'm sure there are tons of customs of it. But the legs are all new. The torso's all new. The white belt, it's just like peak villain design. Hot take, I've always been more of a Darkseid fan than a Thanos fan. I know a lot of people may not agree with me on that, but I think Darkseid's just badass. I got a sticker on my car that says for Darkseid. I love Darkseid. So I think the sculpt is fantastic. And he just looks awesome. So I can't wait to clean that up. I'm like rushing this review so I can go do that. So in terms of accessories, he's going to come with the card and the stand. Can't do without it. We don't know his real name. For Darkseid. It's awesome. Awesome. You get alternate hands. You get a pointer finger hand, which I don't think needs to come with every character, but I think it works for Darkseid. And a fist hand. This is what we like to see, McFarlane. This is what we like to see. So go ahead. Oh, man. But the cream de la crop, we get this beautiful alternate head. Look at that. The Omega beams getting ready to blast. This is the head he comes with on in the packaging, but it needed a big debut here. I will say the heads are a little hard to get on, but I understand why, so I'm not like upset about it. He's got a weird head design, but oh man. If you don't like that, stop collecting the line. This looks fucking badass, so I'm very, very happy about it. Now, as you probably could have guessed, the articulation is not going to be super good. I mean, his head's actually better than I thought it would be. He gets pretty good rotation. He can look up pretty far down. I'm actually not upset about that. The shoulders go up all the way. They'll go down. They keep popping out. That is, I will say, that is getting very frustrating. But see, like, I'm not even using this side, and it keeps coming out. They'll rotate 360. You get a single jointed elbow that will also rotate, which is fine. I'm fine with that. And then all the wrist swivel and hinge, just a traditional hinge too. Then for the torso, it's really not going to do much. You can get it if you can force it, and it doesn't look bad because of the belt, but the design does really save it. Kind of a loud figure too. The hips, I was surprised on how tight they were. They are pretty tight hips. The hips go outwards that far, they'll go down. He's not going to kick forward very far at all on either side, and if you pull too tight, he's definitely a Build-A-Figure, so be prepared for probably like a darker blue with this skirt, if I had to guess. No medallion, double jointed knees, but I don't want a darker blue. Like, I want this blue. Like, this is like perfect Darkseid blue, so, you know, I'm going to do the little customization I need to do. And then the ankles go up and down, pivot, and you get a toe hinge on there. So it's not terrible. I don't think Darkseid needs to do a lot. Like, I would like him to be maybe slightly more articulated. I think my biggest issue is I wish the arms weren't falling out all the time. But if he can do this, which he can, and he does it very well, that is fine for me. I think this looks fantastic. And so with just a little elbow grease from Apocalypse. Oh, man. Just busted. This jawn is fire. It looks official. Like, I'm actually pretty proud of what I did. So I just like drummed it down a little bit and then hit the whole, it was like kind of light here, so I just hit the whole thing with a slightly, very, very slight dry brush, and it totally works. I'm so happy with how this looks. This may be a contender for top 10 of the year now. I know I had to make a little bit of modification, but even with the cape, I'm gonna see if I can get it over his head, but I mean, like, if this was too much work, I was fine having it like this. Like, I'm not upset with this, but even with the cape, like, that looks fantastic. But now that my cape is removable, there's no beating it. There's no beating it. This is the Darkseid I have always wanted in my collection, and he will be a staple piece in my DC collection. So let's go ahead and take a look at some size comparisons. He's a big boy, so here he is next to the NECA Toys King Kong, along with the Jazzwares Fortnite series Peely. Here he is next to the McFarlane Toys Dark Knight Returns Batman, along with the Hasbro Marvel Legends X-Men series Darwin. And then finally, here he is next to the Hasbro Marvel Legends What If series Zombie Captain America. So, yeah, if you couldn't tell, I love this figure, and I'm so happy to have it. It is the Darkseid that I have always wanted in my collection, and I never thought I'd get it. Like, the Mattel DC Universe Classics or the Mattel DC Multiverse one, that was a really good Darkseid, but I do think this trumps it after I put my work into it. Again, with the cape, this adds a new take to the character that I think a lot of people do want, and I think that's awesome. It's just not for me. So after my slight mods, he's probably a top 10er. I absolutely love this figure. The posability kind of blows. Objectively, the posability kind of blows. Which does suck because he's got like loose ankles already, and the legs like barely move, but I don't need him to do anything crazy, so it doesn't bother me that much. But anyway, at this point I'm rambling. I'm just so happy to have a Darkseid. So with that being said, at a price point of $40, out of the box, I'm going to give him an 8. I'm going to give him an 8 because he's not my favorite version of the character. But once I did my mods, this is like a 9.5 for me. A little bit more posability would be great, but I still love it. So with that being said, I believe that's all I got for today. If you have not already, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Letterboxd. I have a lot of fun over there, so I'm sure you will too. But as always, let me know. For Darkseid, see you guys next one. Peace. What goes on, guys? I wanted to hop on here again and thank you all for watching, and to let you know that if the following apps interest you, feel free to follow me on them, as I put the links in the description for you guys. I really appreciate everything you all do for me, so DM me with any questions or thoughts. I'd love to sit and talk with you all. Again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.